Welcome to Beat About Interviews, Beat About's monthly arts and culture show. We finally caught up with our final guest for this year's 2014 interviews. Today, I'm joined by Martin H. Phillips, secret keeper of the Rickshaw Roadshow, creative director at Gold Chip Records, and one half of the band, Iron Heights. So, Martin, we're actually going to jump right into it. Cool. Iron Heights is a new venture with Dana Gillian from Dana and the Robots, and how did this come about?
I had some songs from last summer that I had written, and we met through doing that video for her. And I went over and jammed at her house one day, and we kind of connected on these songs I had written a while ago. And our styles fit really well together for it, so.
Absolutely. And what kind of sound is this you're producing? From the first time you talked about it with me, it's sort of a poppier sound. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to go to not necessarily more mainstream, but just more listenable,
more accessible
sound. Exactly. More
catchier,
accessible.
Something that grabs the ear.
Yeah. Well, we like to call it alternative pop.
Absolutely. And why is that exciting for you? Because I know this is going to differ a lot from your Rickshaw Roadshow past.
Oh yeah. Well, it's cool to play my own songs again, and I'm playing with people I've never played with before. That's always exciting. I mean, I've been in a lot of bands, and I think it's a really interesting way to go in this town, in the Tri-Cities.
I completely
Because there are
agree.
no bands like that around.
It's true, and we're trying to build a bigger catalog of things like this. It used to be that you would only have one image of this town, and we're getting beyond that. So tomorrow night, obviously, you'll be playing a gig at Iron Heights at the Beat About Late Night. But do you have any other gigs coming up?
We're playing tonight.
We're playing. You're playing tonight.
The Gold Chip thing. Yeah,
that's right. Tonight is the Gold Chip Records first annual Christmas party. It's going to have Steve Gilbert, Jan and the Ukuleles, Iron Heights.
Ross Adams.
That's right. He's got that. You had the secret show at Gold Chip Records during Rhythm and Roots.
Yeah. And I wasn't even able to see him because we were playing down the street. We were doing this video session thing that night. But I sort of produced one or two of his tracks and put some guitar on his last album, and his stuff's incredible.
It's going to be a lot of fun to see.
Yeah.
Okay, and you mentioned the video shoots. You actually, just a couple of months ago, you worked with Dana on producing a video for Mars Black Love, which was one of her new singles off of her record Star Atlas. So what's that like? What is your history to video, and what inspires you with that?
It's relatively new. I recently got into doing it basically out of necessity because all these really cool things were going on in bands that I was in, and especially with the Rickshaw Roadshow, just being around everybody recording our record and stuff was so much fun. I just thought that I had to document it somehow because there was no one else there to do it. So it's a really recent thing, but I've been a fan of films my entire life. I mean, with Mars Black Love, something that inspired it was David Lynch or something kind of dark and weird, and I wanted to use old public domain stock footage spliced in there. And
yeah, you can pick up your love for film with that because basically the entire video is her performance, either just in a close-up or in a full shot.
She's completely silhouetted, and you can't make out what her face looks like or anything. And
and just raw stock footage thrown through all these different colors.
Yeah.
It's a really great video. You should go check it out. It's Mars Black Love, Dana and the Robots. Or is it listed as Dana and the Blood Moons on this one?
It's the Robots.
It's the Robots, Dana and the Robots. So when did that come about? When did you guys start talking about that?
She came to see us. She came to see the Roadshow in Elizabethton, I believe, one night. And got to talk. We actually started talking about making music before we got to talking about videos. She was asking about us, how we did our record ourselves and everything. But then they played a show with us later on, and I saw their live show for the first time, and I was pretty blown away. I mean, just the two of them on that stage is so fucking raw. Can I curse?
Oh, yeah, you can absolutely curse. It's well fucking documented that we curse.
Cool.
And you're right, too, because I saw them for the first time years and years ago. They played Java J's.
They've been around 10 years.
I know.
They're like they're kind of a legend around here, I feel like.
I think so too. I mean, I've had Your Body as a Hotel off Big Sharp Rock stuck in my head for nearly 8 years now. And I think I've convinced her tomorrow night to play it. And I hope to God that happens.
Yeah, we were actually practicing it yesterday.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So, that was your first music video that you kind of produced and pulled up.
Well, the first one I did was for the Roadshow, actually.
Oh, okay. Tell us about that.
That one was To the Crows for the title track.
Yeah, off the new record.
And yeah. It was, I had this idea one day that Cody should play this kind of vigilante outlaw on the run, and Austin and Dan should be his chasers, his hitmen that are coming after him. Kind of it was a very Tarantino-esque crime caper thing.
Which is kind of cool because you can sort of see the segmentation of your style in the different videos. Your different inspirations. Like for Mars Black Blood, you kind of have a Lynchian thing going on, very minimalistic, and then in Tarantino, you have more of a story pushed. And it's more high volume.
Yeah. I wanted to do something really strange and really like unique to this area right off the bat. It was our first music video ever, and with Dana's as well. I just wanted to make it something that would stand out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not a lot of people even do music videos around here.
Yeah, and you're tentatively looking at actually moving on to another one in January. What's that?
Yeah, that's going to be with. Actually, we're working with two bands. I just remembered another one. But it's going to be we're going to work with Davey Smith and the Untamed, I think, because he's coming on to the label. And I'd be really excited to make a video with him. His new stuff is really raw and really, it's fucking rock and roll, It's true blue. And then we're going to do a video as well with 49 Winchester. Cody and I have been writing the treatment for that, so I'm going to try and nail those guys down. They're hard to get a hold of because they're on the fucking road so much.
You've got to do it.
They're out there killing it.
And you had you just mentioned the label. You're actually the creative director of Gold Ship Records, which it's a very busy time for you. You've got your music, you've got working with Gold Ship, you've got school. But what's the story behind that? How did you get involved?
I met Drew through a band that I played with a few summers ago, and we became really good friends on the road. And he's been working at being a professional musician for a good while now.
I mean, he's an absolute workhorse. It's been over a decade.
Yeah, he's very experienced, and he really knows what he's doing. And he knows how to put things together. And with this label, he's just given a lot of opportunities to people who wouldn't normally get them, in this area.
Yeah, absolutely. It's sort of the thing that Gold Ship has to offer is a chance outside of what you would normally have.
Yeah, and we're reaching out now to bands in other areas too, across the country.
Yeah, didn't you just sign a band from Kansas?
Yeah, the Rose Line, and we were actually supposed to do a music video with them too at some point. But we're getting submissions now too, which is crazy. People across the country are kind of hearing about it and wanting to get in on it. So
yeah, and I know that you all are actually looking for interns for next summer.
Yeah, we need you kids.
Absolutely.
Kids, come bring us coffee.
If you want to
and make phone calls.
Yeah, exactly. Which is not a bad gig, let's be honest. And you get to learn more about the music industry. You get to be passionate and have fun and learn it from the ground up. So where can they send the info to? Do you know, is it info at Gold Ship Records?
Yeah, you can just hit info at Gold Ship. If you think you have a specific kind of creative skill set, you could email me, Martin at Gold Ship. Or email Drew himself, Drew at Gold Ship. No, it's not Drew at Gold Ship. It's something else. But yeah, goldshiprecords.com, you'll be able to find
absolutely
anything you need.
Now, in your opinion, as a creative director, what is it that you look at for this small independent label in this small corner of the country? What is your take on the artistic vision?
Yeah, well, I want to make sure it looks real and professional to the general public. It's all about representing yourself as a legitimate company. And
yeah, because you want to be able to show these people the work you're doing. You want to be able to push it, and part of the way you can do that is is to have a unified vision and to show people what you can do. Because the people who get these opportunities are the people who really do. They push it and they practice. They work hard all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
Perfecting
talking about
your craft.
Yeah, you were talking about you and Drew playing in bands for years. This is what happens, and you have your own history with that. There's a reason that Rickshaw Roadshow is a known name. Now, of course, they're going to have that name in memory now, because I just heard a few minutes ago that as of a few weeks ago, you called it quits, which I'm sure is disappointing for a lot of people, but things have to give way for new things, and it was a great ride. So can you tell us a little bit about the history of the band and some of your high points? Some of the things you really are going to remember.
Yeah, well, high points for sure were the record release show for To the Crows last March, and also we played this really cool gig in Wilmington, North Carolina. But also Rhythm and Roots this past September. That show at O'Mannon's it was on a Saturday at like 4:00, and it was completely packed out, and everybody was into it. And
which is one of the cool things about O'Mannon's.
I think we played together better than we ever have at that point as well, and it really kind of like solidified our sound. I feel like that show did.
Well, me and you have talked about it before. When you have a live crowd, it helps dictates how you all play and how your energy is and how tight you get.
Oh yeah, the band absolutely feeds off of the crowd's energy, and if it's not there, we can't give the best performance possible.
Yeah, and not all is gone. You released To the Crows last year. Was it last spring, summer?
Yeah.
So what was that process like? I mean, obviously you didn't know at that point that you all were going to be around for another record, but how did you go through that?
We had plans for a third too. Sorry, what was your question?
How was the process like, and what did you enjoy about it?
I enjoyed getting to make music creatively and freely, and it was a very easy process to write songs with those guys, because somebody would come in with a verse, and then somebody else would come in with like a guitar lick, and then the rest of us would fill it in or something. It was very like we were a team,
Absolutely, and they've been at it for years. You'd mentioned before we got started that they got their start just by busking at Rhythm and Roots, just the three of them.
Yeah, they were playing on the streets for a good long while, and built their sound and their name from the ground up, and got in and played everywhere and anywhere they could.
And they absolutely did. If you go to a Rickshaw show, it's pretty much wall to wall.
Yeah, it was an event. It was really cool thing to be a part of.
Absolutely. So we're gonna kind of leave it here, but you can see Iron Heights tonight alongside of Ross Adams and Steve Gilbert, of course, an awesome guy, and Jana the Ukuleles for Gold Chip's first ever Christmas party tonight at O'Mannon's.
Yeah, I'm gonna be drunk.
Absolutely, I'm hoping the same. But then come back tomorrow night, and you will see Martin alongside of Aaron Clark and Dana Gilliam from Dan and the Robots with Iron Heights. You're going to see Dallas Danger, Polly Panic, a lot of great comedians like Tom Sheave and Michael Doherty, and we got some newcomers. David Dial and Kat Shea are going to be joining us on stage, as well as me, Jesse A.M. So check us out tomorrow. Martin, thank you for stopping in.
Thank you so much.
And we'll catch you all later.